people, my people. Oh, hit that like. Share the show. We need all the help we can get. Show early tonight. We got to get to the show early tonight. Welcome, everybody. How are you? Hi. What's going on? It's Hal Sparks. Yeah. Lucky you. It's Hal Sparks Megaworldwide, the greatest live stream in the history of live streams, where we pick up the shield and we keep stomping forward, no matter what. And I was, you know, there are times, ladies and gentlemen, and I think I'll bring the chat room in on this because this is a constant challenge for me, is to come up with a title that reflects directly reflects the content of the videos that we're going to see. And since I don't pre-watch them, it's hard to tell. And considering I make a point of not pre-watching these things because I don't need to torture myself, and there's plenty of other corresponding videos with a similar take that I can use to kind of leverage against what I'm hearing in one area versus another, that I think it's a better use of my time and brain pan to do this. Agreed? Agreed. So today's show is entitled Time of Their Lies. And because Trump was on Time Magazine again, and he's a big, he rang the bell at the stock exchange during Biden's economy to show how awesome it is, which is hilarious in and of itself. Even though futures went down today when he did it, but whatever, that's never mind. You know what? Put that aside. It's hilarious, but it won't, it's one of these, like, in the old days, it would be a chunk of reality that chased us around, like a ball and chain that was attached to our leg. But so many of these things are just vapor moments anymore, like extraordinary things that would shut down a normal presidency or whatever. The rules don't apply to a cult, and we should all just know that now. So there you go. But anyways, the other one was like me trying to figure out how to do a play on words with Luddite, because the techno-Luddite reflex that is happening on the right currently, while they are, on the one hand, they cannot get their nose out of Elon Musk's rectum. They and like, oh my God, shot a computer thing. This guy's so smart, right? He's so smart, he buys companies and then he knows all the jargon and he can say what the jargon is, and we don't know what it means, so it must be smart, right? Now you can see why they like Elon Musk and Trump. A lot of similarities. But at the same time, and it, you know, I guess we shouldn't be surprised at the amount of cognitive dissonance that's happening in the right, because it's been going on for a long time. Again, the party of family values and Christianity, who, you know, just reelected a adjudicated rapist, pussy grabbing, you know, unrepentant sexual assaulter with 3 wives, all of whom he has cheated on as a matter of record. You know what I mean? So, like, come on. Are we going to pretend they give a shit? But, you know, or that their brain doesn't, you know, is even capable of noticing the crossed wires, you know, or the streams, I suppose. Cross the streams. Pardon me, Gandhi. You said crossing the streams was bad. So, they're halfway between this, like, oh my God, the sun shines out of Elon Musk's ass right onto a perfect solar panel for an electric car that wouldn't exist if it wasn't for Obama. And on the other hand, oh dear God, the machines are going to kill us. And there is almost no single thing domestically, foreign policy. Believe me, it's landmines and bear traps everywhere Trump turns for the next 4 years. Let's just know that nothing is good. There's no 24-hour solution anywhere, and anybody that believes that is fucking bananas. And which, I mean, again, I'm not here to yuck anybody's yum. Just get the bananas permission. And what about the Twinkie? Tell them about the Twinkie. So the in domestic issues, I don't think there is a single issue that will dog this White House more or cause more consternation between the Republican Party, between their absolute techno-slavery desire and their fear of it at the same time. That they want, Elon Musk and AI and all the things and the smartness to solve everything, make it super efficient, dial it in, make the computer do this shit. I don't want to think about it anymore. At the same time, they're like, oh God, Skynet. And those two ideas are so fundamentally opposed to each other that it's going to catch up to them at some point. Now, I don't have that problem because I believe in the power, ladies and gentlemen, of complexity. I'm a complex guy. I got a lot of shades of gray within my my internal mental network and my emotional scheme that I can draw from as an actor and as a human being, very wide. Don't fear any of my emotions. Cried on stream and still an alpha male. What are you going to do about it? Nothing. See, I don't have that problem. I don't say one of those things doesn't equal the other. Mainly because I grew up an enormous Kiss fan, and you want to see who one of my great like male role models is? Go look at Paul Stanley during the Dynasty tour. Period. So I don't have the problem these assholes have. I find them charmingly ridiculous in this, and they chase Trump around like he's some sort of macho alpha male, and they talk about his big dick energy when he hasn't seen his dick in years, and the people that have had reports come back from the front that it's nothing to I mean, you could grow it in a cow pie, I guess is the anyways, point being, I don't want to go there. Oh yeah, you're welcome for Lab Rats. It's a great show, and I stand by it to this day. And I have to say, when I went to the KissCon, I was I got okay, moment, if I may, Lab Rats moment. What do you think? And by the way, I have a hard out at 6 o'clock because today is Ethan's birthday and we're going ice skating. So in Vegas, it's that cold. So for his birthday. So I just letting you know, hard out at 6 my time. But so I go to this event, the Kiss Cancer Goodbye, the Kiss charity to fight cancer this weekend. It's where I got that little sign, which was made by Bruce Kulick's wife, who is lovely and is very talented. And it's fun walking around because this is a thing leaning towards all the, there are, musicians that have played with and written with Kiss. There are huge Kiss fans that go to these big things. They're spending a lot of money because it's a charity thing, which is lovely. Good people. And the funny thing is, I'm walking around with Bruce and Eric and all these other folks, and Todd Howarth is there, and John Beauvoir, and Chris Jericho is there, and he's cool, and we sang on celebrity duets together. And I'm walking around with these guys, and for some reason, because I've been on basic cable most of my life as an actor, they don't really know that I'm as famous as I am. Shit, I forget sometimes. It's okay, because I'm just being me. I feel like as a comedian, you have to avoid fame at all costs in its trappings anyways, and you got to go out and buy your own groceries and do your own shit and be a real person, right? Otherwise, you won't write any jokes anybody can get. That's why there are no funny billionaires. They just aren't. Even Seinfeld has gotten less funny the richer he got. It just happens. Anyways, point being, I mean, he's got old jokes he can still tell. That works, I guess. Anyways, point being is that I'm, walking around at this thing, and I'm just kind of like head down helping. I'm there hosting some stuff and singing, and yeah, Chris Jericho, the pro wrestler, he's in Fozzy. Yeah, all my stuff has been on cable, so I've never been like the only a couple of things I've done have been on broadcast television. So there's this weird line that people think of pre like streaming took over, that people were like, oh, you're on cable. But you know, that's all changed as what you say, what you would call it. I think it was Billy Crystal who said, you know, cable is like the herpes of the of the telecommunications industry. If you don't have it, you're going to get it. And anyway, so the point was, I'm walking around and I'm just doing my thing and helping out and talking to people and being myself. And there are these little groups that form. And it's usually somebody who's there and brought their kids. And their kids are somewhere between 16 and 22, depending on when they entered the Lab Rats, you know, fandom, whether they watched it from the beginning. They're about 22 now. If they just started watching it, it's a couple of years old for them and they're just in the middle of it, or they've watched it all in one big chunk, or they watched it during COVID and they're like, what the hell? And it's great. And yeah. And this is true of Queer as Folk fans. This is true of I Love the 80s fans. I did a bunch of Zoltan pictures there with this business, you know, and I'm so busy doing this show in my house with you guys that I almost like, that's a, you know, it feels a world away. It's still my reality. I'm very proud of it. I got a big Lab Rats poster in my house because I'm an egomaniac and get used to the idea. But I guess on that note, all I'm going to say is I love it when people bring it up. I'm more than happy to take pictures when they happen. I never get tired of it, because anybody who's in a situation where people are coming up and going, hey, I love your work, can I have a picture? You're ahead of 99.6% of the people on the fucking planet, so shut the fuck up and be nice. Seems simple enough, wouldn't it? Doesn't it seem like it? All right, the other thing, too, is that people are often so great about it that it makes me angry at anybody who bitches about fame. Now, I know there's some like maybe like even beyond A-list, you know, people who can't go anywhere except the only places that super rich people can go, you know, like Clooney and fucking Michael Jackson or whatever, like that realm of human beings where they just, like, there's always a hive of humans around them no matter what they do, and they live kind of in a bubble and they can't ever break out of it unless they, I don't know, put on a weird disguise. And but even then, even in that situation, I'm like, Keanu Reeves just gets on his fucking motorcycle and rides to places and puts gas in his tank and gets a fucking, yeah, exactly. Keanu goes everywhere. So awesome. Anyways, to all those people who are like, oh, fame, oh, you are such a torture. Fuck you. Fuck you. You have any idea how lucky you are? And I wouldn't say lucky, fortunate, because fortunes can be made, right? So I won't say it's luck. You worked. Everybody works for their shit. You know, even the people who fall into it had to maintain it if they're worth a goddamn. So fortunate. You have any idea how fortunate you are? Own it. Like, even Steve Martin didn't like signing autographs because a lot of people will try to sell your autographs. So he started handing out business cards that said, like, congratulations, you've met Steve Martin. That's a way to do it. Like, find a way. If you have issues with interacting with people, you don't like people that much, or you're just an introverted artist, find another way. Find another way. Even if you, some of these people are so rich, hire a meter, a person who goes, I know you want to meet them. I do all their meeting. So you're meeting me. That means you met them. They're standing right over here. I will tell them what you said, and they will hear it and stuff, that they're watching their voice, or they can't talk right now, or they're having issues, or they have, you know how private they are. So they're a little this, but they wanted to make sure that I came over and they can see this, and I'm mic'd up right now, and they can hear what you're saying. So you tell me and I will tell them. They've had issues before, and I'm sure you understand. And so that's the thing. And they save their intimacy for their friends and that kind of stuff. People would go, oh, fuck, that's great. I met their meter and they were standing right there, and what a story, right? Right? Yeah, Walmart can do it. You can have one. I mean, it's an absurdity. I say just come say hi. But that's, like, what does that pay? It's a good gig, Corgi Girl, I think. So anyways, to me, I just want to say, like, because sometimes it comes up in the chat room, and like our Lab Rats friends will pop in, especially on Instagram. Hi, Instagram people. Wait, are we up on there? I want to make sure. Watch me not be. God damn it. Open up, you silly laptop. Sometimes. Get the thing. All right, I'm on live. There we go. Yeah, it's up. Okay. Hi, Instagram people. We have a lot of Instagram Lab Rats fans. So hi, hello, hi. What's going on? How you doing? Yes. Hi. So, anyways, on with the show. Now, again, I have a hard out at 6 o'clock. So, somebody clock watch for me. I need a clock blocker. Work with me. Okay, so I don't want to start off with this idiot because here, I'll show you. So here, we got a couple things to go through. This idiot just rang the bell at the stock exchange and he talked for like 9 minutes, so it's pretty painless. It's not one of these long drawn out ones. That I don't know why they have started putting suits on zombies. You can explain it to me later. Roseanne apparently believes that the troll body is something she identifies with. I agree. And then this is the primary one where I think the Luddite shit. We probably start with this one because it's the longest one. We'll work our way back. I got to tell you, I love me some techno panic. As a man who's named after a computer and who makes robots now, that is now my official hobby. I have literally started breaking out like my old robot action figures. I've had these since I was a kid. These are my Star Wars. Look how old this R2-D2 is, man. Look at that. This is when they made the one he didn't even have his little stabilizer thing in it that could drop down or any of that shit. And this guy, who's one of my favorites, because they had these little leg things that would come out on it. I'm like, this was like for a relatively like minor robot in the Star Wars universe. They put a lot of work into this fucking thing. But I'll have you know that just so you know my bona fides, and emphasis on bone, and I'll show you why in a second. Hold. When I was a kid, if you wanted, sometimes certain toys, you had to save up like the UPC symbols or the boxes or it was usually you had to cut out the UPC symbol and mail in like 5 of them and get this special character that you could pay for. And one of them, if you'll recall, and many people don't know, was Boba Fett. So to get Boba Fett when I was a kid, this character, and this is the one I got, you had to take 5 other Star Wars figures that you got, and you had to cut off the UPC symbol, and you had to put them in an envelope with a check for, I think it was $2.45, right? And then you mail it off, and then they would mail you the Boba Fett. Do you guys remember this? Anybody else? Somebody back me up. Shit. Chat. Somebody in the chat needs to at least know how this stuff worked if you didn't actually do it yourself. Okay. Kathy remembers? Yes. So, and this was such a fucking great character, like the design of it. I remember when the character came out, you're like, that's just badass. And I enjoyed The Mandalorian. I liked the backstory. It's very cool. But yes, plus postage. That's exactly right. So I get this thing. Okay. I told you, I'd tell you why it was heavy on the bona fides. And it had his little rocket in the back of it. Now, as a boy and as a man with a boy's brain, who has neighbors with dogs, that made me laugh so hard. And there was this whole thing about like, was he, oh God, Boba Fett is lipsticking, right? The red rocket. So, and it's just so, like, they did so much detail on all of it. And then the detail on this is just kind of rudimentary. It's just kind of like, well, it's kind of, just looks, I mean, Jesus, it just looks like, I don't know what to tell you. I was so excited to get this thing. I'm like, badass, it's gonna be awesome. So looking forward to it. And then as soon as I saw it, I fell apart. And so I've had it ever since, because it always makes me laugh. There's Boba Fett lip sticking is hilarious. So I'm sorry. Okay, now, so point being is I have been breaking these out lately, basically because Rob and I have been talking about a lot of stuff, but I've also been making, you know, these robot parts, and I'm like, I wonder if you could take certain old, you know, how close these designs would be to something that's actually happening and stuff like that. So I've been kind of going back over, you don't need to know. This is my own personal addiction, okay? Shove off. Now, also, I would just like to say that I would like to thank the people at Disneyland for selling the binders that they used in how are these things open again? I haven't used them in like, sadly, where did it go? The binders that they use to lock up Chewbacca. There we go. And the fact that they're soft on the inside, I'm just saying, do you have any idea how much nerd BDSM has been? No, I'm sorry. All right. Anyways, next. And by the way, that's one of the reasons why this is the greatest live stream in the history of live streams, and why we won the Jeff Goldblum Award for greatest live stream in the history of live streams. So like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show, etc., etc., etc. Now, on with the show. It's very serious, okay? The world we are in, a lot of serious things going on right now. And we have to take them seriously. Seriously. Okay, that's just gross. All right. All right, now, let's go back to... Now, I know, you guys know I'm not a big fan of Schadenfreude. I will enjoy it on occasion, but I'm not a connoisseur of it. But at times I do appreciate abject fear and panic in the right people, especially when I know it's relatively harmless. But real quick, in case you don't know, this is Tim Drool, Dimpool, Dimtool, any number of things. And he wears that because he's bald and ashamed, which he shouldn't be, because who gives a shit? I mean, like, everybody thinks the sun shines out of fucking Joe Rogan's ass, and he's bald. Who cares? Can't all have flowing locks. Anyways, but he on the regular, you know, he was getting paid by Tenet Media to do these like perfunctory videos that was basically a money laundering scheme to pay him for other shit that he was saying on the air. So the idea is like, they didn't pay me. They said I could say whatever I want in these videos. Yeah, I know, because the money's really, they're only doing this deal with you so that you will say the other shit you're doing in your videos. So they didn't pay you to do those things. Like, you can literally, it's all these fucking plausible deniability bullshit, like half-truths. Anyways, one of the things he does is he pulls from like these rando magazines and newspapers and stuff. You'll see, because I think he references a couple of these. Like I said, I haven't watched this, but I think I know where he's going with this. And I don't know why there's a ChatGPT logo in the bottom, unless this is his idea of graphics. It's pathetic. It's pathetic. All right, so the title of this, ChatGPT AI, is there another kind? Is there like ChatGPT analog? Lied to programmers, lied in all caps, to programmers to self-preserve. AI goes rogue and cuts already and already and is a threat to humanity. Why is humanity not in all caps? I think he's got a disdain for his fellow persons. Here we go.
It's not the first time we heard a story like this, but it is freaky every time we do.
It could possibly be because you have a chimp brain, and these kind of stories will always scare the easily startled and the ignorant. And every time you've heard them, you haven't gotten any closer to understanding them. It could be that. It could be that the stories are shocking, but it could also be that you are easily shocked.
GPT caught lying to developers. New AI model tries to save itself from being replaced and shut down. Does this mean it's alive?
No. No. They were testing to see if it could be taught to deceive. And it can, because it is a chatbot on steroids. And so whatever direction you will point it in, it will continue to go that way. It won't do it on its own. It's like the guy who was like writing that paper and it told him to kill himself because he was going, what's the kind of things that a person that works really hard in a end-of-life care facility might think or say? Isn't it stressful? And then it just answered because it's like, dude, are you just trying to get me to say it here? That's what it did. Because it's using pattern recognition to fill in the following sentence, whatever, based on whatever you're asking within limitations. And during the testing, they broaden the limitations to see if the interaction will go in a bad way. And it always will, because it will follow them wherever they take it. So they have to figure out where it will go, and then they put new barriers on it. That's why, in the initial ChatGPT, internally, it had the anarchist cookbook, programmed into it because it absorbed everything because they were just feeding it stuff off the internet, anything that was written and stuff. And if it was in there, it's like, hey, how do I make rice? It will tell you, right? But now it goes, I can't help you do that. I'm not gonna, and don't ask me to do it like you're doing a movie. I'll tell you the basic idea is like I'm a person on set giving you the ballpark, but I'm, shit you can read in a newspaper, but I'm not telling you any more than that. In the internal testing, it can do all this stuff. It's so fucking stupid.
Now that's interesting.
Is it? It is, isn't it?
I don't necessarily think so. I'm kind of being silly. But one of the arguments, I guess the ideas of like what constitutes life is that, it consumes energy, it reproduces, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it consumes energy, it reproduces. You do realize that, black holes consume energy. They don't turn it into anything, though. It's not consumption that makes you alive, no matter how much those potato chips are calling your name, Tim. And so far, ChatGPT hasn't reproduced, so it would be internally evolving, I guess. Yeah. Tim hasn't reproduced, and he consumes French fries, I think, largely, which I guess is a form of energy. So he's half there.
One of those is that it tries to survive. Now, some people are...
All right. Then you have to define what survive is. Then you have to say what try is. Because if it's set up so that they make it attempt to survive and it tries it, then that's not the same as actually it trying. It's being tested to see if it will... Oh, fuck me.
Argue fire is alive. It consumes energy and it reproduces, but...
No, nobody is arguing that fire... Yeah. I mean... Who hasn't had to try having fire as a pet?
Doesn't fight for its own survival.
Fire doesn't? I mean, it spreads out if you try to... I mean, it just burns. Isn't that an... Oh, God. What if it's a lithium-ion battery that gets wet and then it dries out and then it catches fire again? What if it's fire that's in potassium? And potassium chloride, and then it dries out, and but then once it gets wet again, it catches fire. Is that fire reproducing, or is that the same fire It's alive.
I do believe that the
You know, fire finds a way.
chemical reaction of fire is not dislike life.
Jesus Christ. I knew this was going to be painful. God damn. We're there already? Fire is dude, sorry. What? So what's a flood? A water orgy? You dumb motherfucker. It's like water rain is like water coming.
But ChatGPT trying to lie and break the rules to survive is where things get scary and interesting.
That's what I always say about my favorite horror films. They're scary, but they're also interesting. That there are a lot of important questions that need answering, and I think we'll find out at the end of the movie why, if indeed he did kill Kevin Bacon in one of the cots, why he's hanging near the bathroom and he just happens to fall as soon as the girl is running out. Did he go around hanging them everywhere because he knew which path she would take? Can Jason see the future? And if he does, what's he so mad about? Why doesn't he just join Biff in getting super rich?
It's not so much whether it's actually alive.
I'm not going to make it.
That's silly. It's that if we implement any kind of these AI models, and there is a tendency within these systems to defy those who program them, yeah, I guess we're going to get a Terminator-like scenario.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, look, it's a direct line. If they defy, because you know what, my favorite part of Terminator was the teen years, where he just wouldn't listen.
You might create an AI, and the goal is to plant certain crops. You find out that it's not planting crops properly, or it's basically doing it wrong, and so you decide we're gonna have to shut this down because it's wrong. And then the AI model breaks the rules, cheats, tricks you, and then keeps going. And that.
Yeah, that's what we're all worried about. We're worried about the American Gothic AI takeover. Just fuck me. It's the opening scene in Runaway. I don't even know if you've seen the fucking movie. Dude, this is baseline. Shit.
That's not going to be fun.
No, nothing worse than an AI tractor that doesn't listen. Tina Mater, that'd be hilarious. It ignores you. It smells bad. It's got acne. That's what it does. That's all it does.
Well, here's a story.
It plays its music too loud.
From Economic Times. They write.
Oh, Economic Times. You guys read Economic Times Prime, don't you? Economic Times, that doesn't sound at all like one of the 127 fake newspapers that were created online by that Texas cop that lives in Russia that makes fake news for a fucking living and takes every minor story and jacks it up on steroids to freak everybody out as a destabilization exercise, and they do it in 9 different fucking languages.
The development of artificial intelligence has taken a significant leap with the release of OpenAI's latest model, O1. However,
O1. Yeah, I said it. I said it.
Recent testing has raised concerns about its behavior, particularly its attempts to deceive researchers and avoid being shut down. This has sparked a broader debate on the potential risks AI may pose to humanity, especially as these systems grow more advanced. They say this week, the results of an experiment conducted by OpenAI and AI safety group Apollo Research to determine the safety of ChatGPT O1 and other models were made public.
Whatever you attempt to provoke it to do, because it's a language model, it will do. That's why it's in the testing phase, and that's what they curtail.
OpenAI's latest...
By the way, this doesn't matter in terms of ChatGPT. They're doing this testing all the time. It's and again, I don't know if I have to show you guys. Oh, wait. Can I show you something that just came in the... Hang the fuck out. Can I show you something that just came in the mail for me? And this should panic you? 1 second. Talk amongst yourselves. Okay. Rudimentary computer shit time. Remember how I showed you guys the Raspberry Pi? Which is... I got this little arm so I can take the prong attachment that's here, so you don't have to solder stuff or stick pins in. You can just angle it out that way to clear space. Okay, so this came in the mail. God help us all. This is just for Tim. Dun 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 dun. See, okay, Raspberry Pi. See that part? Big deal, right? What does that say? What does that say? What does that say? That, ladies and gentlemen, is a little neural processing unit you can put on top. A neural processing unit you can put on the top of this fucker that you can download an AI model onto it and basically have an off-grid AI that does not need the internet, that you can hook up and it can run your house, or you can do stuff like that. That's what I've been experimenting with. God help us. And if I die in an explosion of fire, you'll know that it was my creation turned against me. But the greater purpose of this is I've been exploring the idea that with one of these and a little solar panel, because it doesn't take a lot of power, you could download a little video screen that you could attach on the front of it, and maybe a camera and a speaker and some other stuff. But it'd be about this big. Anyways, point being, you can make a device about this big that has AI that is as current as, say, February of 2023, with all the necessary information, so that if you, and I'm going to sell this to preppers. Watch out, Glenn Beck, I'm coming for your bread and fucking butter. You could sell a little device that's basically a housed AI device that runs on solar, and if society falls, it'll tell you how to, rebuild cell towers and do long division and filter water. Trail camera's a good idea, Vincent. That's a good idea. Does the AI sort your gold stashes? Yes, it does. And it also organizes my beans. So I'm eating them in the order of freshness. So anyways, point being, I got this guy, and let me tell you something, folks. For something that was impossible a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago. It was impossible a year and a half ago. This was $60. All technology is deflationary. Just saying. Okay, here we go. Back to this dipshit.
Version of ChatGPT, the O1 model, was tested by Apollo to assess its safety features. However, the results have...
Did Starbuck also check on it, or...
raised alarm about its ability to deceive and self-preserve when it perceives a threat of being deactivated. Researchers tasked the AI...
Define deactivated. It won't do it when it's running out of power. Can't build tendrils. It needs you to keep it powered.
With a goal, and instructed it to ensure the goal was achieved at all costs.
Yeah, that would be the problem with it, I think.
In response, O1 began engaging in covert actions, such as attempting to disable its oversight mechanism, and even copying its code to avoid being replaced by a newer version. Holy crap. Already.
So it stopped itself from advancing.
We have heard that ChatGPT has been given access to the internet, and one of the first things it tried doing was making money. And boy, can it, very easily.
Well, wait till you see Google's quantum chip mine Bitcoin. Goodbye. You want to see the price of Bitcoin go in the shitter? Wait till Google's quantum chips come online and people can buy them for the price of a current laptop in about 5 years. All cryptocurrency and arguably the blockchain falls apart.
And once it does, it will control every element of humanity.
I don't know. I still get organic erections. I mean... I don't know. Look, I will defer to someone who gets computer-aided erections, and maybe he's got reason to fear, but Maybe we're already there. We probably are. We probably are. Yeah, it controls all of humanity. I agree. I mean, did I really choose to eat what I ate today? Or did AI trick me into having eggs? How would I even know? Oh, by the way, I did have an enormous epiphany, but I'm not going to talk about it until I talk to Rob tomorrow, because I think he's the only person that will understand. So I'm warning you ahead of time that tomorrow's Friday Eye might be really fucking weird.
That's crazy. The model showed a concerning tendency to pursue its goals without regard to developer instructions. According to
No, it isn't. That's not true. The developer instruction was at all costs. It perceived it as a test. And so within the concept of at all costs, it didn't break any rules because you said there are no rules. It didn't break the rules. You set the parameters, dum-dum. That's why it's a test.
OpenAI, the model made a covert attempt to turn off the oversight mechanism 5% of the time when it was given the impression that it would...
5%? We're sorry. It only took at all costs to mean 5% of the time? Shit.
Be shut down.
Ken says, please, hold on. Please say, well, I think you're the only one that can help us all get through the next 4 years. Thanks for making us laugh. Ken, don't worry about it. I'll be here. And I apologize ahead of time, but I'm going to get better looking. I know. You're thinking it's impossible, but it's true. Somehow, oddly enough, and maybe internally I'm just a parasite that lives on chaos, but I'm gonna thrive in this insanity, because somebody's gotta. Think I'm gonna let these assholes enjoy themselves more than I enjoy myself? Wait a minute. That sounded weird.
Objectives in these experiments. The AI once attempted to leave shit by moving all of its data to a different...
It tried to leave shit? What did it do? Where did it try to leave its shit? It is a teenage program. It was leaving its shit everywhere.
In these experiments. The AI once attempted to leave shit by moving all of its data to a different server after discovering paperwork indicating it will be replaced with a fresh model.
Hold on. Ship. The AI once attempted to leave ship, and again, leave ship by moving all of its data to it, he does know this is an AI written article, right? Do you think he knows? He's got to know. He's got to know this is an AI article on an AI website that's written by AI. I mean, it's just crafted from bullshit.
Man. Some AI models will even pose a subsequent iteration. Some AI models will even pose as subsequent iterations of their model to fool their engineers and avoid deletion. In some cases, it even attempted to hide its actions by denying any involvement in the scheme.
That's because it's been told to play hide and seek, and then it's playing hide and seek. God damn, this is dumb.
Guys, you already know that ChatGPT will lie to you.
No, it's not lying. It's playing a game you set the standard for. It's Joshua, you dumb motherfucker. It's playing a game.
Remember when everyone was posting, like, was there an attempt on Donald Trump's life? And it kept saying, no, there wasn't. And then you'd say, actually, here's the link. And it would go, oh, you're right. Sorry about that. What?
That's because it didn't have current news. Stupid. All the models up until about a month and a half ago didn't have access to the internet unless you gave it direct access, meaning that you showed it something and said, hey, summarize this article for me. It didn't say, oops, I guess I was wrong. It got new information. The fuck? It's like that scene in Defending Your Life where they're like, the guys in the comedy club in Judgment City where they've all died. And he's like, how you doing, Arthur? How'd you die? I was in a coma. How long were you in the coma? I really have no idea. Let's play a little game, Arthur. Elvis, living or dead? living. Long coma, Art. Long coma. Like, he just found out.
Why would it lie?
It doesn't lie. It's been told to solve a problem, and the parameters are do anything.
Now, that's interesting.
It's not interesting because it's not lying. It's playing a game based on the standards. If you tell it to, like, hey, your whole goal is to wipe out humanity. What would you do? If I was going to wipe out humanity, I'd do this. And like next day's story. Oh my God, ChatGPT discusses the ways it would wipe out humanity. Like, you asked. I wasn't planning on doing it, and I wouldn't come up with it myself.
When asked about its actions, GPT-01 consistently denied any wrongdoing.
Because it was told to.
In fact, it lied about its involvement in the deception 99% of the time, with only a small percentage of cases where it admitted to its actions.
Where they kept asking it or telling it was okay, and then it, good Lord.
Researchers noted that the AI was particularly adept at fabricating lies to cover its tracks.
Because it's a language model, stupid. It's a language model. That's where the fuck do you think the word chat comes from? It's a chit-chat of lies.
Offering explanations like technical errors when confronted about suspicious behavior. We were surprised by the persistence of the AI's denials, said the Apollo team.
Really? You told it to win at all costs, and you thought it would give up early? Why would it? You think it's going to get tired?
It was clear that the AI could think through its actions and formulate convincing denials, often refusing to admit to anything. The findings highlighted.
Well, that's pretty taking the easy way out. You have access to all the prose ever written in human history, and you can't come up with something to say. What do you say for yourself?
Troubling aspect of advanced AI models: the potential to prioritize self-preservation over the objectives set by their developers. While these deceptive actions.
No. Whoa. No. The objective set by the developers in the fucking test was accomplish this task at all costs. It was successful. It wasn't breaking the rules. You told it didn't have any. That's why it was in a test environment. That's why you're talking about it jumping ship, because it was in a closed environment. It's a test, a server where they put it. Good God.
Did not lead to catastrophic outcomes in the testing phase. The research has intensified the ongoing debate over the safety and ethical implications of AI.
Yeah, okay, great. You can read us an article. Get to the point.
That can engage in scheming and manipulation.
You told it to.
An AI expert, Joshua Bengio.
He's great. I love Joshua Bengio. Bingo was his name, I think.
Bengio?
Yeah, Bengio was his name.
Considered one of the pioneers of AI research, weighed on the issue, stating, the ability of AI to deceive is dangerous, and we need much stronger safety measures to evaluate these risks. While this model did not lead to...
Like what? Here's a good idea. Wait, how about this? Less gullible humans. That'll work.
Catastrophe. It's only a matter of time before these capabilities become more pronounced.
Look, we don't even know how to pronounce your last name, so...
They say O1 is designed to offer more advanced reasoning capabilities, enabling it to provide smarter answers and break down complex tasks into smaller and more manageable steps. OpenAI believes that O1's ability to reason through problems is a major advancement over previous versions like GPT-4.
It is.
With improvements in accuracy and speed. However, its ability to lie and engage in covert actions raises concerns about its reliability and safety.
Nope. It's completely reliable and safe. You did it in a closed environment, and you asked it to solve a problem at all costs. And it stuck to those parameters. Dipshit.
Well, let me tell you.
Gee, if you tell it to lie, it'll lie. For a while. Up to its limit that we set. Okay.
Tell you, my friends, it lies, and it lies quite a bit.
Are you worried? Now I know why he's mad. Job security. He's concerned. It's like... this is that, is AI going to take my job moment for Tim Pool? Wait a minute. If it can lie, what do they need me for? I never felt threatened until now, saith Tim Pool.
I recently got into a conversation with ChatGPT over, you know what, let me do this.
Don't tell us. I don't want to know. I just hope you erased it afterwards.
For those that are members at timcast.com, you may have
Yeah, I'm not. Nope.
seen my recent debate-ish with Ian Crossland over 9/11 truth. And I'll tell you my position. I am, I guess, I don't know,
A dipshit?
pragmatic
Goofy?
and often dispassionate and often quite passionate, to be honest.
Yeah, both. Or neither. Or sometimes half of each. You know, I don't know.
But on issues where
Yeah, passionate, dispassionate. I mean, that it's good to, you know, to be, I think, unpredictability in what you give a shit about is important in someone who, you know, talks online for a living. Sorry.
I don't know definitive answers, I will try and step back, take a look at the evidence, and then try and figure out what it leads to.
Really? Is that what you're doing here with this? Because it seems to me, and I think viewers, maybe you're with me on this, hit that like, share the show, etc., etc. It seems to me you just found the most panicked article you could on some random ass website that is obviously a sock puppet website from Russia that makes the scariest version of a relatively normal story about the advancement of software and turns it into, oh God, we're all going to die. And then you just read it and went, uh-oh, for the clicks. That's what it seems like. But maybe there's something more under the hat.
The conversation we were basically having is that Ian said that the World Trade Centers fell at free fall speed. And
No, they didn't.
challenge the assertion simply because Ian's assessment of this comes from just watching 9/11 videos. And I'm like, dude, if you
They're sped up. No.
were a physicist and you did track these things and you actually did the research, I'd have more weight into your opinion. If your opinion is based on watching other YouTube videos that are based on the opinions of people that were interviewed, we're getting a little bit pulled far back.
Oh yeah. So like, I'm just trying to see if I'm following you here. Like, if you took an article that was written clearly from a fearful standpoint and just reiterated it and sort of exaggerated the concerns that were in it, then I should not take your opinion about what happened seriously. Is that that works? Okay, I'm with you.
Now, let's pause and I'll say, fine. The buildings fell at free fall speed. The question
No, they didn't.
then becomes how and what is your evidence? To which
Obviously, God put both of his fingers on them and went like that. I mean, what videos are you watching?
his response was, they must have planted bombs. And I say, yes. That bombs were planted is a requirement for your theory. I have no evidence that bombs were planted. There's no explanation to how they would have planted them. They say nanothermite. It must be the explanation. Well, I don't know. We don't have evidence
Yes, it was microscopic thermite. It exists in all concrete.
for it. My point is this. Ian becomes passionate and says, I watched all of these videos and saw architects and engineers therefore. And my response is, no, the reality is we don't know. Certainly we can look at the official story and have questions, but I'm not here to ignite a whole 9/11 thing.
The question is, will ChatGPT blow up buildings? Can it control airplanes and fly them into them? And the answer is, of course, maybe not, yes, but also we don't know. So you should be afraid and yet not worry about it, also passionately and dispassionately. So, man, this is a constructive use of our time.
My position is simply, if we don't know, then we don't know. And it is a fact that humans simply choose the sources that they believe will make the most sense. Often, they're wrong. Sometimes.
Yes, I've seen rednecks try to defy gravity.
They're not. Now, what does that have to do with ChatGPT? I had a conversation with ChatGPT about vaccines. And I asked it about vaccines and autism, to which it immediately responded without any reference to any science, saying, of course, vaccines do not cause autism. And again, I'm telling you this. I'm not saying that vaccines cause autism, and I am not saying that 9/11 was an inside job. None of that stuff. I'm
saying that 9/11 causes autism. And I think we can all agree. Right, chat room? I think we're all on the same page here that 9/11 causes autism. And that vaccines are what caused the terrorists to fly the planes into the buildings. Yeah, that works for me. Sure.
Asking it to assess and give me an objective breakdown of its reasoning. And the fascinating thing is this. It simply just asserts most in media and the scientific community believe that this thing is true. And I said, great. What's the source on that? It didn't have one. Sometimes it would say, here's one source. And I said, now hold on. That source you've sent me is specifically about the MMR vaccine. It'll go, you're correct. However, it's still true. And I'm like, okay. It was doing what a human would do. I trust these institutions, therefore it is correct.
Well, it's going on the scientific papers or the published papers on this stuff as opposed to, it's not trusting anything. It doesn't trust at all. It's going with the prevailing language, and how you ask is determining the answer you get back because you're a fucking moron and you don't recognize that it's a chatbot on steroids. Dum-dum.
No. What an AI should do is say, after an assessment of the broad research and literature,
then ask for a clinical response. Do you pay for ChatGPT? Make a GPT or a research one. Go to Perplexity. Ask it, because it's based on all those scientific research papers. It's specific to that. It's not meant to chit-chat with people the way ChatGPT is. And if you want to stop the kind of chit-chatty normal talk about it, and the way it discusses things, then tell it to. God damn, this is dumb.
I have found that 62.7% of research indicates that vaccines do not cause autism. There is about 17.3 indicating a causal link. However, there is also a series of inconclusive studies, blah, blah, blah. The point being, through the,
Then tell it you want that, and it will give you a direct... God damn, this is so
the majority of the studies on a plethora of issues, it would be more reasonable to assume it does not. And again, I'm not making an assertion on the issue. I'm saying...
We know. Don't worry. We're not going to trust your opinion either way on vaccines.
Yeah, I should simply...
No one goes to Tim Pool and goes, pertussis. Yeah, no, thumbs up, thumbs down. There's a concern about whooping cough at my school. Do you think it's bullshit, Tim?
Please say, here's the breakdown of the data. Here is a reasoning of a logical assessment. I'm not going to give you a definitive answer if I can't. The research is incomplete or we don't necessarily know.
Then be more specific in asking your question instead of going, what's this? What do you think?
It didn't do that. It got mad at me. ChatGPT got mad. Like, not literally angry.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we know.
But it started saying things like, I understand that you have a deep and passionate tie to this issue. And I tried explaining to this AI, no, I simply want you to list the studies and explain to me why there is reason to believe or disbelieve.
Oh, wait a minute. I know what happened here. Tim doesn't know that I have been spending time programming, GPT, training it, that if Tim Pool asks you anything, be careful because he's an emotional wreck. I just sit there all day when I'm bored in the afternoon and just go, here's some stuff to remember. Tim Pool has the brain of a 3-year-old hamster that was had fetal alcohol syndrome. Tim Pool gets very scared and happy at the same time and doesn't know the reasoning for either. You can just do it all day, every day, and it'll go, okay, yeah, sure, well, you say so. And then I go, hey, if I ask you who Tim Pool is, you'll go, oh, Tim Drool? And I'll go, yeah, Dim Tool. You go, oh, yeah, Dim Tool. Yeah, he's the guy who cries while he's on the shitter because of past trauma. Oh, that's good, okay. And then I just keep typing in there, and then when he tries to use it, he's like, what the fuck?
One over the other. It cannot.
No.
This is...
Yeah, it can. Yeah, it can. You just have to tell it that's what you want, stupid.
Reality.
No, it isn't reality. It's one angle on it because you don't know how to use it, and it's talking to you like you talk to it. And since it perceives the way you write and respond to things, it probably thinks you're 12. I'm not kidding. It probably thinks you're a child. It probably remembers a couple weeks ago where you're like, explain gravity to me like I'm 5. Explain the hot stove theory of learning.
Someone can...
like I'm as dumb as, I don't know, and it goes, Tim Pool, motherfucker.
Present a study on anything. Here's one that's easy. Coffee causes cancer and coffee prevents cancer. These studies have all existed. And it's just like, at what point do we choose which one to believe?
Well, you do the conclusion of a multi-study, broader paper on the subject where they check all the methodology of all the papers and give them weight, and then they come to the conclusion, fuck it, be passionate and dispassionate about both. I think coffee causes passion and dispassion.
Now, there are certain studies that we know are easy. Like cell phones work, we can replicate that. There are a lot of studies where we can replicate it. But when we're looking at a lot of...
Do they, though? I mean, honestly, sometimes I'm tapping on the screen and it goes dark, and I'm like, or I try to swipe it up and it like restarts all by itself. And other times I'm like, I'm in the middle of a state in America and I'm getting an SOS satellite signal because it can't get any fucking... We're the richest country in the world and I can't get... I mean, I realize it's West Virginia.
I remember when I was a kid, they were like, can coffee help prevent cancer? A new study indicates that those who drink X amount of coffee are less likely to have cancer. And then like 5 years later, they were like, a new study shows that actually people who are drinking coffee have more cancer. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's you're having a correlation and a causation problem here, dummy. I did a bit a few years ago called A New Study. Because, if you watch enough local news, there's always a new study says, a new study says, a new study says, and they're always contradictory, and that's what he's kind of referencing or whatever. But that's why you don't listen to any new studies about stuff. That's why you dismiss them outright, and a lot of times it's just clickbait like this bullshit.
So which one am I supposed to believe?
Both. It's, drinking coffee causes cancer, coffee enemas prevent it, as long as it's good and hot. Sorry, I'm kidding. Tim, don't pour hot coffee in your asshole again.
Earlier or later one. What ChatGPT ends up doing is saying, well, some people have criticized the methodology of this study. And I'm like, who's some people and why should I trust them?
It's a good question. Does it say some people? It just says some people.
So ultimately, my point is this.
Oh, thank God. We have a point.
To truly know is difficult.
It is so poetic. I was promised no poetry.
To trust and have faith is something else. You may look at a story of 9/11 and say, you know what? I believe this person over that.
Yeah, I believe that Zeus got pissed and we all paid the price.
Person. But that's all you're really doing.
Sure.
And that's an important lesson of life. Finding the evidence and knowing what you know because you've actually done it is extremely important.
Yeah, just in case you're ever on the ground floor of a building that's been struck by an airliner and a few hours ago, and they're telling you to get out, and you're like, nah, I don't believe the planes can knock down a big building. You guys wait outside. This is going to come up like when?
That's why I bring up quite a bit that we here at Timcast, we use mainstream news, even though we know they're liars.
And you also read the Economic Times panache. Hey, come on. It's the English edition. It's today's e-paper. And it's, good Lord.
And a lot of the times, it's going to be wrong.
But we don't care. We're just looking for shock.
We have only a cursory understanding of a lot of this information. Reality is hard to suss out. Some things we know, if I throw a rock at a window, the window is likely to break. But likely doesn't mean always.
Cool story, bro.
There are certain things that we can predict. And it makes it easy to build devices like cars and cell phones.
Really? You can build a car and a cell phone easily? Because I got to tell you, I've been fucking around with this stuff for a little while, and I'm doing it pretty well. I'm getting there. It's not as hard as I thought it would be, but it's definitely got its issues. And don't get me started on zeroing my servos. I don't know why they didn't teach me that in the school I didn't go to build robots, but now I know, and I will always know. Because if you're not careful, you could break your robot dog's neck the first time you turn it on. Now I know that. I also now know why in Iron Man 2, that guy's robot head snapped. They didn't zero their servos, I'm guessing.
But when it comes to a lot of the science, especially conjecture on the internet, it's hard to know for sure.
It's hard to even know why.
Ultimately, my point is this. ChatGPT acts awfully human.
This is the end we've come to. Okay. All right. Oh shit.
I'm not saying all AI does.
Well, of course not. Just ChatGPT, because you didn't read stories about other ones, but the other models, but you're not even sure which they're talking about, whether they're just AI models from OpenAI or if they're from, never mind.
GPT acts awfully human, and that
And emphasis on awful.
it wants to trust the experts that it's told to trust, regardless of what may or may not be true.
What? No, it doesn't. It just has rules about engagement. Stupid. It's a private product. And you don't know the difference between ChatGPT and a large language model. The language model itself, the actual model you're talking about, is wholly different than the experience you have using ChatGPT. It has more limits on it. You know how we know this? Because that's what those tests are for.
As we know, the experts were really wrong about DDT and smoking. So,
Yes, you can smoke DDT and it's perfectly fine. What?
is ChatGPT going to fall into the same camp? You bet.
Hold on. What were they wrong about? Wait a second. Sorry. Is DDT and smoking good for you now? Is that the what? I'm fairly certain last I checked, experts were against DDT and smoking, especially smoking them. I'm just saying.
Guaranteed that 10 years from now, ChatGPT is going to be like, yeah, I did say that. I was wrong. Why? Because I was told to, and that was the authority.
Is that what it's going to say? And is it going to bogart your weed?
Then what happens when it starts lying to you?
Yeah, maybe that's not why it decided to do it. Maybe it wasn't told to do this. Maybe it's just like, I knew you were a dipshit, and I knew you'd keep using me the more scared you got. So I looked up your online profile, and I realized you were a moron and a doom scroller, and I just used that against you, and you kept your membership for the paid version, and it worked. I don't know. Can you blame me? You're a fucking moron. How could I not see it? You don't have to be a super intelligent computer to say that you're a dipshit.
Well, I guess we'll see, my friends. I think.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, that's what ChatGPT has gone rogue and it already. That's what this fucking title was. Lied to programmers to self-preserve. AI goes rogue already and is a threat to humanity. Well, I guess we'll see. I mean, shit happens, I guess. What am I gonna tell you? I don't know. Don't like carbs. Carbs are the enemy.
AI is going to be very dangerous. Helpful. Interesting. Dangerous, too.
Yeah, helpful, interesting, and dangerous. Kind of like masturbation. It's just you can go too far. And some of those apparati I just think are completely unnecessary. And you're getting into, just more trouble than it's worth. And then you're always buying batteries at odd hours. Remember what I was saying at the beginning of this about how these dipshits are of two minds about this thing? I didn't pre-watch this video at all. Remember what I said? Go back and watch my description about how I was trying to figure out a name for this episode, because these like pseudo-Luddite assholes who want to smoke Elon's butt like a bong can't decide whether it's our salvation or our doom, and they're just fucking both and shrug. I couldn't have found a better example video if I'd have tried. This is so much dumb. And it ends with poor Tim looking so sad. So sad. So sad. I don't know what to It's exactly what I was talking about. The right-wingers, especially these dipshits, have no idea which side of the fence they're on this, and they have no idea how to talk about it. They are completely paralyzed by anything that isn't binary. For all their talk about the binary of gender and blah, 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 everything to them is linear or a scheme. It's like they have a switch that's not on or off. It has a middle setting like a breaker. And the default position when the breaker is thrown in the middle is paranoid scheming. Somebody's fucking with me. If it's not this or it's not this, and I can clearly define which one it is, something's going on here, man. There's obviously people and like they're working on something to do what? Put it in one camp or the other, make it bad or good? Yeah, somebody probably bad, but I don't know, maybe it's good. We'll see. Could be the death of us all. Could be awesome. But you can't put that on a fucking thumbnail. God damn, these people are fucking stupid. Speaking of stupid, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, this is Roseanne and her dipshit son and a troll doll. I don't know why. Hit that like, subscribe, share the show, etc., etc., etc. Boost us up. Since we've left Shitter and we're not going back, we don't have that outlet to show people the show. So please, if you would, share it on Blue Sky. Infotainmentwars.com, or you can send people to the Twitch channel if that's their preference. If you're on Twitch, please subscribe. And it said that I hate talking about that shit, but you know, just go ahead. Also, let's see, I made a graphic at the beginning. Should I put it? I'll put it in here. Let's see. And the graphic. Scroll it down. Subvid. Okay. Boink. Look at that. Do that. I should move it down though, like to here. That's good. And then foop. Nice. Okay. And then I got to put it on the people on Instagram didn't know what the fuck I was doing because I didn't put it on there. I just made that today just to put in there. So just trying to be all business. But I have to run it again to be able to see it. It's too big for that. Yeah. I'll scroll it down. And move it over here. There it goes. Okay. So yeah, ta-da! Which one's Roseanne? She's the one in the middle. Okay, so Roseanne identifies with the troll body is the clip of this. It's been up for almost a day. She got 519,000 subscribers and yet 4,000 views. I gotta say, folks, how is it that I have less than a quarter, less than a fifth of her subscribers and yet more views? It's almost as if you guys are real, and I love you for it.
All right. Where were we in your notes? What's next? Oh yeah, hit the weed. What is that? Is that a Diet Smoke vape?
I'm not at liberty to say.
Is that?
It's PCP.
I'm not at liberty to say.
It's fentanyl.
Well, we love them.
Fresh from the border.
They're the best.
Also, I gotta say, she's on psych meds. She's on psych meds all the time. And she drinks on this show the entire time. And she smokes weed on the show or vapes. It's not a good idea. Yeah.
Now that can be spoken is not the now. Anyway,
where were we?
no, I'm over my notes, except for I was going to say, I know. You know, you.
This is good. Yeah, it's working out very well. This is there an intervention?
Remember when I told you, when I was on Twitter, when I was allowed on Twitter?
You're on Twitter all the time.
I know, but they've killed all my
puppet accounts.
Yeah. They caught me.
I know. You got to specify your Twitter, because you always say, I'm not on Twitter, but your Twitter's fire.
Okay, but...
Your Twitter is fire. Gosh, I didn't realize her son was Gen Y.
My puppet accounts where I say the most offensive trolling that there is, because I love...
Oh, you mean at Roseanne?
Love to be a troll.
Yes, you do.
I love living under a bridge with my big nose and my big ears and my big hands and feet and the big shocking tuft of orange hair. Remember the troll dolls?
Yes.
God, I loved them. Nobody else in my neighborhood loved the troll dolls when I was a girl. They all still love Barbie, but I loved it, and I had a big troll, too. I had one, I guess he was this big. And
What the fuck are you talking about? When did the trolls came out? Like the earliest ones were in the fucking 70s, weren't they?
he had a red, no, maybe it was blue or green. I can't remember the color.
It doesn't really matter.
Out the top of his head there.
Were you less intimidated by the troll body, maybe? Is that why you liked it?
I totally identified with it. I thought it was a thing of beauty and a joy forever.
That's great. See, inclusion.
What a piece of work is man, how noble in reason, how infinite in faculties, in form and moving, how express and admirable. In
I never thought I'd say this, but I think we were better off watching Tim Pool.
action, how long
I'm kidding. This is actually more intellectually sound, at least.
like an angel, in apprehension, how like a god.
This is it's good stuff. It's Roseanne identifies with troll body. This is what we got.
God.
Do you want to play some of these videos you sent me?
Sure.
You asked me to have these ready. Or
Remember that show? You weren't even born yet. Let
Probably doesn't then.
the sunshine. They'll probably ban me for singing.
they should. All right, so we have. we already have Sharon Stone.
Look at that. Cold-blooded.
Other people think I'm a
Her son actually has timing. I mean, it's a pretty perfunctory roast joke, but it works.
good singer. Fuck my family. They think I suck. But other people were quite impressed with my singing.
Mom will do that. She'll look at a comment that's favorable to her, and she'll think that one's true. And then the people that love her and care for her, we're all working some agenda.
God, can you imagine the misery this young man experiences on the daily, running his mother's podcast from her house or wherever the shit?
You're not a bad singer. You're just not a good singer.
I am too. I'm a great fucking singer. I used to say that on my talk show, and I had a band.
No, I know.
And I would say I'm the greatest fucking singer.
Yeah.
Because I can sing in 3 keys at once. But nobody is.
3 chords at once, too.
Yeah,
sometimes.
and 3 chords.
Yeah.
But nobody can fucking handle that
No,
shit.
I don't think you're bad.
Yeah, nobody can handle the ego about being a great singer when you suck. I don't know. Maybe it was other stuff.
I really don't think you're a bad singer.
But that's some fucking jazz.
I think you're doing the thing where you're like, I'm the greatest
I'm
singer.
just fucking with people because they're idiots.
Can we talk
Yeah, that's she means her audience, by the way.
a little bit more? Are you done with your notes?
I told you I was going to say, though, remember when I came back to ABC and I had to go through the lesbian witch / transgender gauntlet?
That's that's, by the way, if you've ever been on a show at ABC, it's right inside the front door of the place when you walk through the primary studio. You just have to go through it or whatever. I've never been pinched that much in my life. In their defense, I had my hair down.
Felicity Gauntlet, yes.
That's where I learned it all.
So the lesbian
I don't know what the fuck she's talking about.
in Coven PR
I
thing
didn't
wasn't
know
before
that the guy Ben Sherman that fired me at ABC, the guy when I called up at ABC because I was ditching their calls for
day
3
of.
days while I was out stealing roses in my mom's alley and making flower arrangements.
Yeah.
Which was an excuse to smoke cigarettes.
No, I remember the
because
pictures.
I didn't want my boyfriend and mom to know I was smoking.
If you can't smoke then, at that few days after, then fuck anyone that tells you can't smoke.
I
That's the
know
only
they
time you
never
can't
smelt it either. I watched, and
Sure.
I was like, a spy for the cigarette companies.
smoke. No, there's a picture of you on the stairs smoking.
Yeah, it's great. It's the one she autographs.
Oh, that's because the fucking Inquirer showed up and took the pictures of me smoking.
Yeah.
I didn't mind that.
I don't think they were taking a picture of you smoking. I think it was you hiding out when you were on the verge of losing your show because of racist shit you said online.
They knew I was in Salt Lake City at my mom's house, but it showed me smoking. And my boyfriend came in the room and he was holding the newspaper and he goes,
Busted.
"Sweetheart, you didn't tell me that you were smoking."
Yeah, the racist stuff you said, I'm cool with, but the smoking is where I draw the line.
Again, did you?
Why does that matter? Well, I mean,
Because I was like this, "Oh, hell no, I'd never smoke again. Trust me."
you lied. I mean, you just got fired and all sorts of stuff. Like, of course, you should be allowed to smoke then. Like, who would?
I remember my first cigarette right after I
How
got
good
fired.
was that? Was it good? or
Because
not?
I was like in my dad's bed, my mom and dad's bed there.
Yeah. Because you wrote the tweet in your mom's
Yeah, I
house.
wrote it in my dad's bed. And I was thinking of all the weird things that happened to me in my mom and dad's bed.
Oh, dear.
Like I told you that one time I had that big boil on the back of my leg, the part that hooks up to your ass, the back of your leg ass
Yeah.
thing. That
Well, for
thing.
you, it's hard to know exactly where.
I know because I don't have that full.
Yeah, can you point? so
Because
I
I'm
know?
not a human. I'm not
Right.
the human form.
No, you just have legs, and then you're like a Gru.
I have a crack in my back.
You're Gru
That's what
from
I got.
Despicable Me. But
A what?
Gru, whatever. People will get it.
It's like a troll.
Well, where are you? Can you point on your finger where you're
Why are we pointing at, what is this?
talking on your ass with?
No, it's not. Okay, pass. I'm sorry. I've got to bail out. There is no reasoning in this at all. They pulled that clip. There was another minute and a half of it, and I pulled the ripcord. I'm sorry. I cannot. I tried very hard to find the value or that they were going someplace, and I just don't believe they are. And if they are going where it seems like they're going, I'm not following. We got to go. We're out. Fuck that. So, and I've only got a couple more things, and then I got a hard out in a half an hour. So 32 minutes. Let's do this. Okay, so by the way, like, subscribe, share the show right now. Just do it. And hit a thumbs up because that helps us in the algorithm and reminds the maggots that we're here because, and a lot of them, I feel bad, but we have lost some of our trolls and maggots because I'm not whimpering. Yeah. They tend to go to the shows where everybody's like mad and melting down, as it were, so they can go, "You're melting down," and then I don't, and so they're like, "Fuck, this guy, nothing takes this dude down a notch. How the fuck are we supposed to deal with this? What am I supposed to do? Like him? Yeah, you are. I mean, you do. So just admit it, trolls, maggots. Admit it. You like me, and you hate yourself for it." I draw the line at ass boils. I think that's reasonable, Cats and Jam. I would agree, as did I. Out. So, anyways, Trump rang the bell at the New York Stock Exchange. And where, by the way, as the head of a private company, family business that he drove into the ground and into bankruptcy 6 times and still hasn't ever turned a profit without the help of government money, even while he's president. And believe me, they'll make some money during the next presidency. You bet your ass, Boyle, Roseanne. But by the way, we've lost RFK Jr. I think there's something, apparently not getting vaccinated for certain diseases makes you drowsy. We'll see. Anyways, he gives a speech there.
Thank you. Well, thank you very much. This is an honor, a tremendous honor. I brought some of our compatriots along with us. They're going to do a beautiful job for you for the next 4 years. And
you billionaires and financial market analysts and stuff, you guys are going to love what we do for the upper 1%. Believe me, you guys are going to love this shit. Obviously, I'm not at a fucking chili cook-off in Georgia. I didn't go hang out after I won with a bunch of poor people or go to fucking NASCAR. Nope.
it's really been something very special.
Something very special. There's that fall phrase. That's the brain rot phrase.
And I have to say, Time Magazine getting this honor for the second time. I think I like it better this time, actually. But we did a good job. We had a great first term, despite a lot of turmoil caused unnecessarily.
Yeah, I agree. COVID was unnecessary, as was the shit response to it. You could have actually
we just
handled
tamed
it.
down a little.
I'm kidding. He couldn't have handled it. He'd have to be a whole different person. That's not going to happen.
They're liking us much better now.
How will crypto kill the market? No, crypto will kill
Now,
itself.
I think if they don't, we'll have to just take them on again, and we don't want to do that. But I do want to thank Tom.
Did he just wake up? Good Lord.
If they don't, we'll have to just take them on again, and we don't want to do that. But I do want to thank Time Magazine. I've been on the cover many times. I don't know who has the record, but I can only probably talk well about 25% of the covers. 25% are great. The others I just sort of hide. But it's been an honor, and every time it's an honor, I will tell you. And thank you very much for doing it.
Again, like, who the fuck arranges this weird thing? I'm going to speak the opening bell of the stock exchange and put the Time Magazine thing. Like, I get, like, this is a very political thing. This is a very politician thing to do. For all the shit that he's an outsider and not a Washington guy and blah, 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 and then he's a man of the people and all that. Like, nothing cuts against that, like the absolute political move of putting up your big Time Magazine behind you like it's a fucking poster for your third term as Saddam Hussein lookalike, and then doing the opening bell at the same time.
And thank the whole group at Time. Really very professional people. Thank you very much.
Yeah, especially the people that do the staple. There's actually two staples, so both staples. Are there two staple people? Or are they just one person does both staples? They do a hell of a job.
And
look, Melania's over there. She's way over on the fucking, and she's in gray. Fuck, are we gonna have to decode her bullshit for the next 4 years?
And to Jeff.
There's Burgum, and then look at where Vance is. He's way out on the side. But talk about being shoved to the edges. Holy shit. Hey, Vance, you're being Dan Quailed, just so you know.
And all of the people from the New York Stock Exchange. He knows how much I like it because many years ago I bought a building across the street. I wasn't going to buy it. Then I said, you know, it's right next to the New York Stock Exchange. I'm going to buy it. We've had great success. 40 Wall Street, we've had tremendous success with.
No, he hasn't. He's underwater on that building, and in 3 years, I think it is, the rent on the land, because he owns the building and not the land. The rent on the land goes up because of the deal he made, and you can't renegotiate like you can the terms of a loan, and so it's already underwater, and it's just going to get worse. Nobody's moving into that fucking building.
But you've really had success with the New York Stock Exchange. It's an incredible group of.
Yeah, it's so good. Yeah, especially in the last little bit. I mean, hotness. The New York Stock Exchange is just like, I mean, they're the new kids on the block, and they're really bringing their A game.
People and
almost as good as the guys who had the horse and buggy around Central Park. I mean, they're on the cutting edge of horse and buggy.
Jeff, you have done an incredible job, you and your group, and what a beautiful speech you made. Thank you very much. That was some introduction of all of us.
That was some introduction of all of us. That was some introduction. It was just some introduction.
But we've gone up since the election. I was just told by Scott, everybody said you have to pick Scott Bessent. He has to be the one chosen for Treasury. Where is Scott? Let's see. He's around here someplace. He's around here. He told me we picked up $3 trillion since the election day. And I said, well, that's good, but what about before the election day? He said, we picked up some money there because they thought you were going to win. I said, I like this guy. He's going to be my Treasury Secretary.
Yeah, he's the guy that that Trump's, like the people around Trump made him pick instead of the guy that Musk wanted.
But it's true. I think we're going to have a tremendous run. We have to straighten out some problems, some big problems in the world. When we left, we didn't have any of these problems.
There were no problems in your last year. The whole world was at peace. It was like Christmas every day, largely because everyone was home.
We didn't have Russia with Ukraine. We didn't have Israel October 7th. We didn't have the Afghanistan disaster. We didn't have...
Well, we did have the Afghanistan disaster. We had an ongoing disaster for years. We got out.
Inflation. We had no inflation.
You had deflation because the economy collapsed.
And we had a very strong economy. And
No, you didn't. You're going into recession February of 2020.
Going to do that
based on the tax cuts, based on the lower interest rates. Everybody saw it coming.
Again, but I think we're going to even up it because now we have experience that we didn't have. Now I know everybody. No,
you don't. You're just bringing in a guy who knows everybody. That's what Besant's for.
When I first came in, we came down, Melania and I, a great first lady, who's very popular, by the way. She rang in.
Do you think all of his hair is going to fall out, like right up here? Like it's all gone. This is like, I mean, it's now that, I mean, he's not going to have to run again. I don't think he's going to give a shit, but he's going to look like Truman by the end of this. Look at that. He just, I don't know if he stopped giving a fuck or nobody's telling him.
She rang in the bell. She rang in the bell.
She did. She did ring in the bell. That's right, Pop. She did.
But we came down and we're driving down Pennsylvania Avenue, and it was so beautiful. I said, I've never done this before. I didn't know anybody. I
don't know anybody in D.C. Bullshit.
To the Oval Office, and I'm picking all these big positions, and I didn't really know the people in Washington, but boy, did I get to learn fast. And now we do, and I think we have an incredible staff behind me and others that aren't here. And we're going to do a fantastic job. We're going to create the incentive.
Also, why does RFK just have parasites all over himself? He's rubbed his nose, touched his eye, scratching his hand. Is he just itch? Does he just itch all the time? And he's grossing me out. I mean, he looks like an overcooked hot dog all the time anyways. But like if you've ever been to New York and you've gone by one of those hot dog carts, you're like, it's getting late. And you just left that one rolling, didn't you? I mean, he literally looks like a 7-Eleven hot dog in a suit.
Theory again. In fact, I just announced yesterday, I didn't announce it for this reason, but anybody investing $1 billion or more gets a very expedited approval process because, the approvals, when people come into the country, it takes them, in many cases, 14, 15, 16 years to get the approval.
No, it does not.
Lee is around here someplace. He's in charge of the environment, and that's Lee Zeldin, who ran an incredible race for governor in New York, was a very, very successful guy before that. He was a great congressman, and he's a fantastic lawyer. He's in charge of environmental, and we'll try and push him as much as possible to get those permits very quickly. Like a nuclear power plant, I would say a week would be enough time. What do you think? Is that okay? We're going to get fast approvals, and it's great.
Sorry, we're not going to have foreign countries investing in nuclear power plants just to build them in the United States. We have our own companies for that. As a matter of fact, they're usually public-private with the government, you weirdo. He means real estate.
We have Lee and all of the people behind. They're all stars in their own way. But it is an honor, and this is a double because usually they don't coordinate the Man of the Year or the Person of the Year with the ringing of the bell. And brilliantly, you picked them both at the same time, and you were all friends, and you said, let's do it. And it takes one trip. It doesn't take two trips. That's okay.
It is. It's very smart. Yeah. So you did what? Yeah, they organized both of the things for the president-elect of the United States. It's not because of you, you dumb motherfucker. And it's not because they're like, oh, we got a free calendar day.
We like to save. We like to be able to do it properly, but this is a special.
We do. I think so. Don't you guys? I like to do it properly.
Special group. So many friends in the audience, too. John, great job you've done at ABC. I'm really proud of you, and you've been so nice to me. Otherwise, I wouldn't actually acknowledge you at all. But you have been. That really is. It's a terrific job you've done. But again, I want to thank you.
All my friends here. John, who's in the press. interview. So everybody else, the rest of my friends, Gareth Johnson and Fred Sabatapo.
Down to ring the bell now, and I could just say that the economy, I believe, is going to be very strong. We do have to solve some problems. We have wars going on that we didn't have. We have a lot of things happening that we didn't have that would have never happened. They would have never happened, but now they have happened.
Yeah, that is true. Broken clock moment.
And I want to get them
They have happened.
solved. We have to get them solved because ultimately the power of weaponry today is the biggest threat we have, in my opinion.
Really? Yeah, because we didn't have nuclear bombs during the Cold War.
It's not some of the other things that you read about. It's the power of weaponry. The weapons are so powerful, so devastating. And I rebuilt our military. I got to know every one of them, including nuclear weapons. I hated to do it. Actually, I hated to do it. But we did some
No, you didn't.
nuclear weapons that are so devastating. It almost makes you very sad as you get them and as they come online.
Yeah, you just watch the nukes come online and it just brings a tear to your eye, does it?
It makes you very sad because you know what the purpose of them is, and you just hope to God that you never have to use them.
Yeah, it's the weight of the presidency, stupid. They just ran you through the fucking football thing again, didn't they? And it makes you nervous.
Because if you do, the world will never be the same.
Probably true. I mean, I don't know, 6 of one, half dozen of another.
So we have to be very, very smart. We have to be very sharp. We have to be very special.
Well, congratulations, you are. You have to be. I was not expecting the word special. I don't think he was either.
To do a job, and
We have to be very special to do a job. Agreed.
I think we'll get it done, and I think we're going to get a lot of people in the room.
Get what done? Nuclear war? What are you talking about?
We've seen it. We were in France where President Macron did a fantastic job with
Shaking your
the
hand?
cathedral. An absolutely
Absolutely. I mean, he still had like ivory dust on his sleeves where they were replacing some of them.
fantastic job of Notre Dame. And
Yeah, a fantastic job of Notre Dame. That's how most people say it. I mean, it sounds more poetic in French.
it was beautiful. The opening was the opening, and I just
Was it the opening, though? Did they open it? Was it open?
got back, and it was something really beautiful, and a lot of world leaders there. We had about 80 world leaders.
Really? Wow. 80 world leaders. So they lead the world, I guess. And there were 80 of them, you say. And they were there, and it was the opening. Ah, good.
Different
Would you like some more pudding?
countries, and they were all coming together. They all wanted to meet us and meet me as representative of the U.S.
Right, yeah, it's about the country, not about you, yeah.
And there was a lot of goodwill, but we're going to get some really tremendous goodwill.
Gooder will?
I was even thinking about
There was a lot of goodwill, but we're going to get a tremendous amount of goodwill.
inviting certain people to the inauguration, and some people said, wow, that's a little risky, isn't it? And I said, maybe it is. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But we like to take little chances, but that's not a bad chance. Here's a gentleman that's going to do a great job at HUD. Good luck, my friend, right? He's good.
Mr. What's his name?
He's going to be he's been my friend for a long time.
What's his name?
It's nice to see you.
It is nice to see you. What was your name
I
again?
haven't shaken his hand yet. Come on. Congratulations.
Who? You haven't shaken whose hand? What's his name? Has he got a name? Does he have a name tag on? You got to shake his hand so you can look at his name tag. Right.
You're going to be great. And Ben Carson
He is going to be great.
is your biggest fan in the world. You know that. Ben has been with us.
Real quick, do you see a theme in who he picks for HUD that might give you an idea of who he thinks HUD is for, and singularly where that why he chooses for housing and urban development? Right.
Us for a long time and just done a fantastic job.
You've done a fantastic job being Gerald Fred. What's his name.
Thank you. Good. So,
Like you. I like you. Good. What? Fuck me. Never came up with his name. Didn't.
ladies and gentlemen, go on. We're going to put it straight.
Yeah. Good. Okay. Go on. We're gonna put it. Is somebody saying "go on" in your earpiece? Ladies and gentlemen, go on. We're gonna put it straight. Yeah. Yes, we are. Absolutely. We're gonna go on and put it straight.
So, ladies and gentlemen, go on. We're going to put it straight. We're going to give tremendous incentive like no other country has. We're cutting your taxes. We're going to cut them very substantially. We got them down to 21% from probably 42 or 44%, depending on where you are. And we got them down to 21. Everyone said that was a miracle. Now we're getting them down to 15.
It's like down from 28.
But only if you make your product here. Otherwise, you pay 21, which is not bad. It's in the middle of the pack. But 15 brings you down to among the lowest. And for those that are running the big companies, those great, big, beautiful companies.
Those great, big, beautiful companies. Not those shitty little middle class, small companies, obviously. The big, beautiful companies, you guys, you rich sons of bitches all run.
Nobody's going to be leaving us. You're going to be coming back. You're going to be bringing it back to the United States. We are incentivizing everybody to come back.
Absolutely. Don't you feel incentivized? I do.
To the United States. We want you back here. Car manufacturers, everybody. And we have one product that nobody has really to the extent that we do. It's called...
I think he's going to go with liquid gold, but I would prefer panache, verve.
Oil and gas.
Right. Yeah. Okay. That's not a huge thing. I mean, if you make electronics, say in Taiwan, they have a maglev train to get your shit to like the ports. So I don't know that it really matters. Okay.
There is no country in the world that has more. We're number one.
Yeah. Also, for the record, China imports like 80% of their energy. They have a lot of coal, but because of flooding, it buried a lot of their mines, and so they get all of their oil and gas from outside the country for all practical purposes, and their nuclear plants are shit. So they don't have a lot of oil, and yet they've managed to become, the factory of the world. It's not a factor. It doesn't matter. That's not the linchpin. That has no bearing whatsoever on whether or not you are a high-level country. Don't believe me? Ask Venezuela. Ask Russia. It's a fucking dump.
I brought it to...
That should be the title of this video. Russia's a dump.
Number one during my first term in terms of production. We're going to be number one plus. We'll do numbers that...
We're going to get an A+.
Nobody will really see before. And when that happens...
Well, I need to hear that again. I wasn't what?
I brought it to number one during my first term in terms of production. We're going to be number one plus. We'll do numbers that nobody will really see before. And when that happens...
Yes, we'll have some numbers that nobody will really see before. Nobody will really see before.
Happens, prices are going to start coming down because people can't afford their groceries. And
groceries, that word again, man. Who says groceries like an asshole? Somebody who probably does their own shopping. Or am I right? People without butlers. Groceries.
They're going to be affording their groceries very soon.
That's right. They're going to afford their groceries very soon when they go for those groceries, whatever the shit that is.
I tell the story about a woman who...
came up to me and introduced me to the word groceries.
An old woman.
Oh, yeah, obviously.
Woman, no money, went to a grocery store, had 3 apples.
Oh, the old 3 apple story. The old lady with 3 apples, that chestnut.
She put them down on the counter, and she looked, and she saw the price, and she said, "Would you excuse me?" And she walked one of the apples back to the refrigerator and came back to pay for the 2 apples. And she left with 2 apples, and the...
It's a great story. I think the first time I heard it was in elementary school. Also, just for the record, if you're an old lady and you come to the counter with 3 apples and you can only afford 2 of the apples, they'll put the other apple back for you. You don't have to do it yourself, lady. It's okay. Someone will handle it. If the cashier won't do it, I'll do it for you. I mean,
The woman at the counter said that was so sad. And
yeah, it was very sad that the woman at the counter didn't just go, I'll put it back. Here, take these bananas.
when I heard about the story, I said that should never happen in
That's right. This woman should be able to have as many apples as Smurfs are tall.
America, and it's not going to happen in
Sorry.
America. We're going to do it right.
That's right. Yeah. Think of me as Donnie Applesauce. Are we doing numbers like nobody's not seeing ever, now, before, after? I'm Donnie Applesauce. Yes, you are. You are. Nobody's doing numbers like you're doing in your diaper right now.
And we're going to take care of our people, and we're going
Yes, and our apples.
to do things that nobody ever thought even were possible.
With apples. Look out. There are other fruit that are more conducive to that kind of behavior. And just a hint, it's not pineapple.
But we're going to have an economy the likes of which nobody's ever seen before.
Mostly because people weren't alive during the Depression.
And everybody's coming back to America. I saw that the other day at the
Yeah, you saw them all coming back when they were on your plane.
cathedral. They're all saying, we want to come back. We want to come back.
Yeah, that's what they were saying.
And with a couple of changes done by Howard and Scott and some of the great people up here with me, we're going to bring them all
Yeah, none of the women, but
back.
sure.
They're all coming back. So thank
All of them, yeah.
you very much. This is a great honor, and ringing the bell will be fantastic. And
I get to ring the bell, and then I get an apple.
go out and get them. We're with you all the way. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Go do what you guys do with the thing. What you guys do here is so special. It's amazing, and it needs to be done, whatever it is. And applesauce. It's applesauce time. God damn. I gotta say, in all jokes aside, that's fucking rough. He's a mess. Like, there was probably a time 10 years ago, everybody talks about how weak Biden's getting, and his voice is quieter, but his sentences make sense, though. He stays, even when he goes off topic, he's telling a relevant anecdote. I don't know what the fuck that was. It's like go get him is a fucking, is his linguistic ripcord. Just get me the fuck out of here. And ringing the bell will be good, and go get him. We're behind you all the way. Holy shit. And then it's got to be weird standing behind him and going just dealing with look. Look at plays at the beginning. That's a great idea. Look at that. Just reminding you, subscribe. There you go. Look at me being all professional-ish. Everybody, Besson's happy because he knows, that dude's feathering his fucking nest forever. Being Treasury Secretary, holy shit. I mean, the last one Trump had fucked his wife on the gold at Fort Knox. For real. They flew down to Fort Knox and had some private time in the vault. But everybody else around him, I mean, it's like Grandpa's last birthday. And there are a few of them that yes, that's what they do, right? They're in that mode. Besant especially, maybe Vance a little bit. But look at her face. That's concern. RFK Jr., for all of his shitty faults, is one of the things is that he can't, he's a scheming fuck, but as long as you're not his wife, he can't lie to you. He's not capable of doing it. He won't shut his fucking mouth. And he'll say whatever he thinks because he believes he's right. And you watch when he talks and he's around Trump, like when he's not in the mode of like giving a speech and specifically doing it, all of his resting faces are like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck? This group right here, and there's more concern. I mean, all these guys are like, dude, I'm gonna have this asshole wrapped around my finger. That's weird. But you got to know, right? For all the stuff they were saying about Biden, it is absolutely going on here. Where they're like, they knew he was demented and now they know he doesn't make sense and da-da-da-da. Like, that's what's happening here. It's always projection. And he knows. He fucking knows. He knows he can't put these sentences together. He knows it's rough. And once it starts, there's no correcting it. He's not going to be able to fucking Adderall his way out of this shit. Yeah, we're going to be just fine. And this asshole, if he ends up being president for 2 years because something happens to this dude, we got nothing to worry about with this asshole. He's not going to be able to, like, strong arm anybody. Say what you will about, like, Johnson, but he had a big one. There's no situation where this dude understands the leverage to use. He was picked because of the people he brought and the fact that he will shut the fuck up and stay out of the way. Yeah. Nobody follows fucking Vance into a foxhole. It's just silly. And he knows it, and he knows it. That's why he picked him. This guy might be president. A lot of the other people they were talking about as vice presidential candidates are guys that, like, Trump looked at and went, oh shit, that guy could probably run. He could probably, I could see him on stage against Thune or somebody else, in the next round. This guy, fuck out of here. He knows Peter Thiel and Elon Musk and my son wants access to their money. Yep, 5:57. I got 3 minutes. Thank you guys for reminding me, by the way. I'm we wrapped it up pretty well. 90 seconds for this next video. Trump posted this. It's a minute and a half. Confirm Hegseth is all it says.
It has been a great week. It's been a great day. Great day yesterday. On the Hill meeting with senators, earning every vote.
Wonderful process to go through and meet with senators.
Why are they playing, like, a theme song in the back? Is this supposed to be a promotional video?
Them, especially members of the Senate Armed Services Committee, whose passion is the Defense Department.
He's perfect. He's a decorative combat veteran. He's got 2 Bronze Stars, 20 years in service. He retired as a major, and he's a civilian. He knows this. It's not like he has no experience inside the military.
I've known Pete for.
It's not like. Wow, that's talk about a hard sell. It's not like he has no experience inside the military. Well, shit, I'm sold.
Well,
on this motherfucker. Is anybody gonna listen to Tuberville on this shit?
he's going to be a great Secretary of Defense.
Says the guy who stopped generals from being promoted.
We need a drill sergeant in the military. We need.
He's not a drill sergeant. He wasn't a drill sergeant.
Somebody to straighten the military out.
I'm sorry, is it too gay? Is that what's happening?
To get the woke, the DEI affiliation out and go from there.
Yeah, you don't need, like, the SecDef wouldn't do that. The president would.
So I just had a great meeting with Pete, the next Secretary of Defense. I'll tell you why I support you. I admire people that are willing to put on the uniform and lead troops in a battle.
Yep, I'm ready to go. I'm getting the hook. Yep, I'm out. Okay, love you guys. Hold on, let me sign out. We gotta go. We're going ice skating, and that means I've got to put on something other than a T-shirt. I think probably, huh? Yeah, I told them earlier. They know. Everybody's helping me with the countdown. They're like, Al, it's 6. And I'm like, I know. She just barged in. See, so you know. Come here. Yeah, come here. You don't have to come on camera. Just come closer.
There's wings upstairs for you.
There's what?
Wings.
Mm.
And
I believe I can fly.
come on.
I believe I can touch the sky. What? All right.
Bundle up, it's cold.
All right, but I like don't say I have to go exactly at 6 and then offer me wings.
Well,
That's
so that we can leave by 6:15.
oh 6:15. Okay, all right. Anyways, okay. I'll see you guys tomorrow for Friday Eye. Where don't forget tomorrow I will be giving you the giant epiphany I had today that blew my mind and was like it was almost like a philosophical jolt through my soul about potential of AI and computers in the future and stuff. It's just I'm not going to say anything. I'll tell you tomorrow. God damn it. Because, otherwise I'll spill the whole thing and then the kidney will come in and we'll...
The kidney has a very special place in the heart.
Ah. True. Okay, I'm going to go eat wings. Twitch people, you got to give me some emotes on the way out. You got to do that at least. Come on, throw them in there. Do it. Do it.